Right, it's just me and Covie. But this is, I've said before, the idea would be at some point to go out without dogs and just do a video, especially if God has given me a subject to cover. Because every time I edit videos, I always come to a point where there's an important point that's being talked about, but then suddenly I'm being distracted by what's going on with dogs, or someone with a dog, and I've got to then deal with that. And then by the time I get back to it, I've then got to either go over it again or completely forget where I was. I mean, so yeah, trying this, see if this works. I wasn't even going to come with her, but she wanted to go out, so I let her out to pee and poo, and she did both. So I thought, oh, she's been such a good girl. I'll take her out. There you go. I'll take her out. She can come out. There's only one to keep an eye on, so it's not too bad. This way. You peeing? Okay. Come. It's just you and Daddy today, Coves. So, okay, I think this one's going to be entitled Bubbles. I mean, put it this way, we've known for years that it's been happening for years, that people tend to get into little bubbles and tend to get people who think the same way as they do in their little bubble. And they can be quite bitchy to people who aren't in their bubble. Take a strong dislike, even though that person could be just like them, but they're just not in their bubble right now. And sometimes people identical to them, who would fit into their bubble quite nicely, never get in because they've been pushed away. They've been pushed out of the situation because of, well, you're not in our bubble, are you? We don't like you because you're not in our bubble. Even though we'd be a perfect member. So you've got small bubbles, you've got big bubbles. Small bubbles, you've got workmates, you've got classmates at school. You've got your goths, you've got your sporty people, you've got your nerds, you've got your musical people, your drama people, that sort of stuff. All bubbles. They're all different bubbles where, generally speaking, those people stay together because they think alike. They have a sort of support network there, don't they? That's their bubble. Anyone not in that bubble comes under suspicion. And the people in that bubble think that basically everyone else in that bubble is absolutely perfect, couldn't do any wrong particularly, they're fine. They put up with a load of stuff from them that they wouldn't put up from anyone else, because that's bubble mentality, isn't it? Because otherwise, if you had a stricter rule for people in your bubble as you do for people out, you'd be on your own, wouldn't you? You would be in a single bubble. That'd be it, just you. Because eventually you have to kick everyone else out. So therefore, no. Anyone who thinks, oi, Covie, no. Not Bumblebee B. You don't want to pick on one of those. Covie, this way, come. Oi, you, come. Pretty house. I brought you out to be nice to you. You're causing problems with this video again, straight away. Pack it up, nutter. So, bubbles, yes. Yeah, you'd be on your own. So therefore, no, you completely ignore things from other members in your bubble. You have to. You click on something, okay, you don't like that person, okay, you're in my bubble. Yeah, we're buddies, we're going to sort of work together on this one. It happens. Workplace, it happens. You have a situation in workplace where you have a bad supervisor. Now you've got people who didn't really get along before, but now they're all under that same supervisor, so they're all now part of a bubble. The bubble entitled, we hate that supervisor. Right? So now they have that in common. So now a lot of the things that they didn't like about each other are now okay. They're put up with that stuff now because now you've got a common enemy. You've got a common situation that you don't like. Right, for example, you've got sports fans. So each team has its own bubble. Now, some fans aren't part of that, but an awful lot of fans are. And certainly, when you get territorial situations that come into sport, those bubbles can be quite fierce. In a sense that, well, for example, Man United fans have a bubble where they openly say they hate Liverpool, they hate Liverpool fans, they hate Leeds, they hate Leeds fans. They speak with a passion about their hatred. They're just normal people who support a different football team, that play at a different location, wear a different colour. That's it. That's it. Well, for example, Leeds United had Eric Cantona. Eric Cantona moved to Man United. Right, okay. Paul Ince was at United. He moved to Liverpool. Okay. Did that mean anything that bad? Not really. Did the world suddenly explode? No. But if you listen to the people in the bubbles at the time, jeez. Man United fans always said they would never like a player who come from Leeds. They hate with a passion Leeds players. They hate with a passion Liverpool players. They would never accept a Liverpool player. They even say, they would love to have a manager similar to Klopp, but they couldn't take Klopp because Klopp would never come to Man United because of the hatred between Liverpool and Man United. Really? Are you that stupid in your bubble? But they are. That's the point. They are. These bubbles are quite stupid in their thinking. It's like, come on. Those people, those fans, like the European Super League, that actually brought a lot of fans together from different clubs who left their club bubble to come into we hate the Super League bubble. They suddenly realised that fans who like other teams are like them. Exactly like them. There's no difference at all. The only difference is they like a team with a different name. But that team's going through struggles. Well, it's like something I like, True Geordie. The reason why I watch True Geordie is because when they're watching matches, they have a fan of Chelsea, a fan of Liverpool, a fan of Man United, a fan of not sure if there's a fan of Man City. There's a fan of Newcastle. That's True Geordie. So, but there's at least fans from 4 different teams there, giving points of view there. Talking about what's going on at Newcastle, talking about what's going on at Man United, talking about what's going on at Liverpool. And I like that because it's people coming out of their bubble. It's people saying, look, sod that bubble. I was very tempted to just use a harsher word than that. Oh, but it is like the Matrix. When you're in your bubble, everything else seems to be nasty. Everything else is just, oh no. This is my bubble, so there's a fence there. There's a barbed wire fence there. The other side of that fence, no, it's evil, don't ever go there. There's creatures over there that are going to kill you. There's people over there that eat people, they're zombies. Of course, a bit further down, that fence is down, you can walk over there. And when you walk over there, you find none of that is true. None of it at all. But this is the thing. You have that, that's what bubbles. I mean, it goes back for hundreds of years. Scotland, England, Wales, there were bubbles. And you had wars between them. And everyone was united against England if they were in Scotland, or everyone was united against Ireland if they were in England. And it's like, what are you on about? These people, put it this way, in the olden days, you would face up in a war with people, but you would face up your tribe versus their tribe, and you'd see people who look just like you. And when they were dying after being stabbed, They reacted just like you would. You know, because they are just like you. They're just people just trying to do the best they can. You know, that's it. They're just trying to be part of something. Go on, Cove. Come on, Covie. On you go. That's the reality, isn't it, really? And that's the thing with the world, but yeah, that's the reason why we have these bubbles, is that people want to be part of something. They don't want to be alone. So, when you put it this way, Christianity shouldn't be a bubble. It is, and it will be. The reason why it is and will be is because the people out there, they have their bubbles, and we're not part of that bubble. We should never be, but so that's why Christianity then becomes a bubble. But then you have churches within that become bubbles. You have the Baptist Church, you have the Methodist Church, you have the United Reformed Church, you have the C of E Church, you have the CMS Church, the Church of Scotland. Oh, Jesus. But they're all bubbles. They all think in a certain way according to, I've had a go at the Baptist Church. And, the Methodist Church, the United Reformed Church, and the fact that, you go to any of these places around the world, they're pretty much identical. Why? Because they're a bubble. That's why. Because they're a bubble. Everyone in that bubble is okay. Everyone outside that bubble, a bit questionable. Their beliefs are a bit dodgy. Yeah, we love them. They're part of the family, but they're not like we are. They're in a bubble the same as you, so therefore they are like you are. Exactly the same. They think the same about you as you think about them. Cubs. Come here, Bubs. Come here, Covie. Come here now. Covie, come here. Would you stop walking around me, nutter? Come here now. Here. Come here. How you doing? You got a little one as well.
I have.
Aye.
Aye. He's a rogue.
Aye. Well, it's disappointed picking her up because certainly with a young German Shepherd, it's going to try running around chasing her. Although, so when she's bigger, she just needs to know that, she's in a bubble. Isn't she, really? The dog she plays with is a bubble. It's her little pack. I suppose that's what the bubble is, isn't it? It's a pack. Same thing. Because with her, she plays roughly with her mum. She plays roughly with Mickey. That pup probably wouldn't have been playing anywhere near as roughly with her as they do, but she'll be scared of that pup. But she's not scared of her mum and Mickey. Because she knows them. They're part of her pack. So, we were out recently doing a video and the young dog was chasing her. She was crying. She was yelping because she was scared of that dog. There was no reason to be at all. No reason to be. If she had the ability to look at the situation from the point of view of common sense and wisdom, she would have realised, well, hold it, I've got less reason to be scared of this dog than I have of the dogs I play with indoors. It's smaller. It doesn't know me, so it's not going to be trying to play rough with me because it doesn't know me. So I've got less reason to be afraid. But of course, that's not the way it works, isn't it? As I say, pack mentality. And bubbles is pack mentality, isn't it, really? It's like wolves. Wolves don't see. If wolves see another pack, that's an enemy. Because that other pack is pretty much going to be after their food. It's going to be after their home. The wolves have got a nice little area here. They know that hunting is good. They know that everything is good here. They've got nice lakes that they can go and get a drink from. They've got nice areas where they can just lay down and be at peace. But when they want food, they know where to go to get it. You've got this other pack that comes in, and even though the other pack is just going for a walk, not necessarily looking for a fight, but the wolves from the area is thinking, excuse me, you can start off to start with. So there's aggression shown. Why? Because that's pack mentality. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why with dogs, we have to train our dogs out of that sort of pack mentality. That being aggressive to other dogs. Because that's pack mentality. That's all it is. Well, like, for example, Mickey. Mickey, showing teeth to Harvey. Harvey was climbed up on the fence, basically put his paws on the fence, head over, barking at mine as they're coming across. Now, the idiot from animal welfare was saying, yeah, but he was just in his garden. Actually, technically, he wasn't. Technically, if his mouth is over the other garden, he's not actually in his garden when he's barking, is he? His feet are, but part of him, the barky bit, isn't. So, but it's a sign of aggression. It's a sign of aggression taken by Mickey. So Mickey basically just showed his teeth. He didn't go for him. He just basically said, excuse me, you're showing aggression to my pack. Especially Mickey. Mickey had a family. That family basically said they didn't want him anymore. So now he's come back to the family he was originally with. And they have, after a while, accepted him. They've welcomed him back, and he's now got a new home with this new pack. So then there's a dog barking, showing aggression to his new pack. He's only done what's natural. What would be expected of him. He's gone through trauma. So that's what would be expected, yes? The problem is that people are idiots when it comes to understanding of dogs. So they don't understand pack mentality. They don't understand that if your dog is being aggressive, then, we'll put it this way, wolves. If you've got wolves, if you've got a small pack of wolves, 2, but then you've got a pack of 10 wolves that come into their territory, and those 2 wolves start howling and barking, showing aggression towards that 10, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's likely that all 10 are just going to walk past and ignore them? Do you think it's likely that maybe one of them, especially one who was outside of the pack, but welcomed into the pack, basically adopted into the pack, you reckon that one's going to be thinking, I love this pack. I should be defending them. I should be showing this pack that I love them. So I'm going to stand up to these 2. Yeah. That's it. That happens. But that's pack mentality. But that's also what happens with people. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. That's why one person can bring other people into their warfare with somebody. Because of pack mentality. Yeah, you don't like this person. Oh, we don't like this person, so we'll join you on this. Yeah. I'm saying now, certainly with my situation, the people that have been doing it to me, they're now in a situation where they now have to pay for their sins. Yeah, one of the worst situations you could be in, really. There's only one worse thing, and that is blaspheming against the Holy Spirit. Spiritually, there's only one worse thing you could be in. But the 4 of them had a Christian neighbour who could have helped with all this, who could have helped them certainly to avoid it. But the Christian neighbour is the one they chose to do it to. Oh dear. It's insane, really, isn't it? Yeah, the one person really, probably who they know, the only Christian that they know that could have helped them, but they've decided that was the person they wanted to do that to. So, okay, cool. Yeah. Well, put it this way, so every day now, once a day, if I go out, yeah, certainly if there's something to cover, if there's a video to do, then I won't be taking dogs. I won't even be taking her eventually. It's just a case at the moment, she's still a puppy. And so she was a good girl. She's done a poo. So because she'd done a poo, she was a good girl. So I thought, I'll bring her. Go on. Aye. Well, when I get back, I'm going to take the rest out anyway. Well, apart from No, I'll take the rest out. Yeah, take a football, take the rest out. Yeah. I was going to say apart from Amber and Lucy, but I can take them. Yeah, that works. I can do that. Yes, yes, yes. Well, Lucy's foot is slightly better. I washed both of her feet when we got back. I've got this solution that I use, hand wash, but it's antibacterial and 80% alcohol mixed together. And so I just got a bowl of cold water, sort of rinsed the foot first, then washed it with some of this stuff, top and bottom, both front feet. And she was still limping a tiny bit last night, so she didn't go out for a walk with us last night, as you would have seen in the video. But she seems to be walking okay this morning, so she can go to the other place. I just need to wash her feet straight afterwards. What I need to do, if possible, is get her, even take some water in the car and just rinse her feet before she gets in the car. Covie, come baby. Covie, come. Wait. When I called you, you paid attention, then you went back to it. She's still a baby, she's still learning. Isn't she really? Yeah. Like I said, like the Matrix. You know, when something happens and you're then brought out of that bubble, you then suddenly realise, oh, when I was in that bubble, they were telling me everything I was doing was okay. But now I see actually what I was doing was out of order. Yeah, and everything they were doing was as bad as the person that we were having to go at. Oh my Lord, really? Oh dear. That's the thing. When you're in the bubble, you just can't see it. As I say, with regards to football fans, the same. And sport fans all over the world, it's exactly the same. You know, there's a sort of tribal thing about sports. And there's a tribal hatred towards the other people. It's nonsense. There's no reason for it at all. No reason at all. You know, I support Man United, but I've never hated any others. Yeah, look, I mean, did it give me a bit of joy that Liverpool won't win the league for so long? Yeah. Even when Man City were, I didn't mind Man City winning the league. Because of the fact that Man City weren't at the same level as Liverpool and Man United. I didn't mind Arsenal win the league. Again, they're not at the same level. But it's just, you know, United caught up with Liverpool with regards to titles and then went slightly ahead of them. So it's like, well, hey. But to me, it was more of a friendly sort of, you know, I never wished any will against Liverpool Football Club or any of the players. I never wanted to show any hatred towards any of them because it's a football club. And to be honest, I can watch Liverpool. Last season, I watched Liverpool play and was certainly on TV, watched matches, and they were fantastic. And I enjoyed watching them play. I mean, some of the football was absolutely brilliant. But that's the thing, enjoy that. You know, like Arsenal in the 90s. Yeah, they were the competitor of Man United. And I loved the Arsenal team. Fantastic team. Yeah, players like Henry, absolutely phenomenal. I would love to have had him at United. No worries at all. We did get Van Persie in the end, but Henry, yes, God, I'd love to have had him. Vieira, yeah. Yeah, when Keane stepped down, go and get Vieira. Even though he wouldn't have had many years left. Yeah, get him. Go get him. Brilliant player. You know, it's like City, Company, fantastic player. Yeah, yeah. City have had some great players. Liverpool have had some great players. Yeah, of course. I wouldn't have any problem at all if United went and got, you know, one of the better players from those teams and didn't pay through the flipping roof to get them. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. If they snapped them up at a bargain, great, fantastic. As long as that person's still got a few years left to play, fantastic. But I have no issues at all that they were previously playing for the other club. Yeah, the other club that's supposed to be the enemy of the club I support. No, to be honest, well, put it this way. This European Super League, you have Man United working with Liverpool and Chelsea and Arsenal and City. Right, so the clubs themselves don't see any issues. They, certainly the owners, are part of a different bubble, you see. They're not part of the Man United bubble. They're not part of the Liverpool bubble. They're part of the owners bubble. Different bubble completely. They don't care about what the fans care about. They got a different bubble. So they're happy to work together with the other club. Well, John Barnes made a few good points about this, about the way to fix this. And he's right. There needs to be a wage cap. That's the point, isn't it? Players have come and said that they don't like the European Super League. They didn't want it. The reason why they didn't want it is because as part of the European Super League, there was a suggestion of capping basically wages of players. Salaries, pretty much. Yeah. And so that's why, maybe why the players didn't like it. Well, put it this way, if you're a player at Man United, you're a player of Liverpool, do you care, really, about going to Bury or going to Southampton or going to those sort of clubs? Do you care playing against them? Generally speaking, those games are harder for you because those teams will just sit back and defend, right, making it much more difficult for you. So you'd rather play against Barcelona and Madrid and Juventus and Milan's and Bayern and all that sort of stuff. You'd rather play against them because you've got a better chance of beating them. Plus you're playing against far better players, which is going to make you better. Right? Yeah, it's going to be a more open game, which is going to test, certainly if you're an attacker, you're going to love that. Test yourself against better defenders. But teams that don't sit deep, therefore you're going to have more space to show what you can do. You're going to want that. So why is it that so many of these players, especially attacking players, have said they don't want it? Wages, most likely. Wages would be the issue there, wouldn't they, really? Yeah. Well, in the end, again, they're in their little bubble. Yeah, the players are in their bubble. And that's another point. Players, generally speaking, they don't care about the clubs. Unless they've been brought up as a fan of the club, they couldn't care less about the club. And even if they have been brought up as a fan of the club, once they become a player, they go from fans bubble to players bubble. Their issues, their concerns are completely different. Yeah, that's the reality. So anyway, there you go. We've spoken about bubbles. Bubbles was a good one. Well, bubbles, pack mentality, I suppose, would be the name for this one. So there you go. Lots of vehicles here right now. There was only me. Well, no, there's one next to me when I turned up. There's a few, but there's different ones now. There's a lady with her 2 German Shepherds. Hi. Good job I didn't have Amber. Yeah, indeed. Anyway, there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.